I'm curious. I want to know, the whistle blows, ref points to the spot. Joe, what goes through your head?
You're probably swearing. It depends on the foul. You're probably like, it depends on who the defender is, that donkey, or like if you're playing against the Galaxy, you're like, here we go again.
I think the nice part about penalties for us is, we're not expected to save it anyway. We can only be the heroes.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it's a stressful moment. You want to be the guy that comes up with the big save at the right time, understanding that statistically you're going to make about 1 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, it's literally that you can't fail in that situation. I mean, nobody's expecting you to be successful, and it really is the opportunity for you to be a hero more than anything.
I mean, I don't want to get too analytical, but would you study players that took penalties, or would you just know, Jaime Moreno, I know how he's hit it this way 3 times against me. I watched his last game, he did this. How much of that info, and I think probably in the playoffs you would spend maybe a little more time on it, or with national team games during the season maybe, but I'm curious how much you thought about the player that was taking the situation, that kind of stuff.
Well, certainly when you're playing, you do your best to watch every other game. That being said, if you have a striker and a midfield and a defender, they're probably all going to hit the ball totally different. And there's going to be no absolute to any of the information that you have, because when you play professional soccer, at the end of the day, these guys can change it up in an instant and do something totally different.
Kasey, who was the best, if you remember, the best PK taker and why against you, if you have an idea of that? Because there's some that come to my mind that I would watch, but I'm curious from a goalkeeper standpoint.
I think what you do is you're looking at the guys that, if they take a lot of penalties for their teams, it's usually 6 this way, 6 this way, 5 down the middle.
Yeah.
So you really have no idea.
So I mean, we used to, when we were in San Jose, I used to take penalties against you in practice.
Yeah.
Sometimes after practice, and then what was it like for you when then you had to face me when you're in Colorado? What was your thought process? What was your thinking? I'm curious how it looked like for you going against me.
I think, because it was almost unfortunate because we would share so much valuable information in those training sessions. It was actually frustrating if you were shooting, because I know you knew my tendencies, and you were one of those players that they alluded to who could change it up last minute if you saw me moving. So it made it very difficult. So in my head, I was like, here we go again. And I think I've touched 1 or 2 of your PKs. I don't think I've ever saved them, but I might have touched them.
So in my opinion, and probably because I hit up at least 3 or 4 against him, my opinion always been that Rimando's the best penalty saver that we've had, at least for guys that I've taken a significant amount against. What in your opinion makes him good at it? What makes a goalie good at saving penalties?
Do you think it was a mental block though with you? Because I felt I felt in 2007, it was, he made it wasn't a big save at the time. We were up 1-0 and he had saved it to go 2-0, and they ended up winning that game. And I was thinking, man, and I've known time and time again, but I just think he's very quick. I think he doesn't sell himself. I think his timing is impeccable when the shooter takes his eye away from the goalie and his line of sight goes down to the ball. I think he knows how to react and give himself. And for a guy of his size, incredible strength and explosiveness to reach balls that as a shooter probably really wouldn't, give him a test that he could make that save.
I'm not sure he even knows.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think he's really successful in shootouts, and I think he has some type of a system where he kind of sticks to what's going his way. It's different saving a one-off, right? A 1-1, and it's a totally different thing, to have that you have 5 chances at it.
Sure.
I think it's interesting that you guys talk about like the relationship and how it grows, right? So like you guys, when Nick saved 1 shot, and then all of a sudden 6-7 years later, you're still talking about like that process, right?
Yeah.
Or there were times where we would have PKs against each other. I'm like, man, it's like the 3rd or the 4th one, and you start analyzing the whole relationship within the game. Yeah,
start thinking about it.
Yeah.